we're just preparing to find a comfortable seat. And whether or not your legs are crossed doesn't matter a bit. Definitely situate your body in whatever way allows the lower back to feel at ease. If sitting is not an option, you know to go ahead and lie down on your back body and just get comfortable. Eyes perhaps gentling all the way closed or halfway, kind of allowing them to move out of focus if they're open. And wherever you're at, let those shoulders roll back and down. And drop away from your ears. Just begin to notice for you what's going on inside your body this morning. Notice what experiences or sensations are occurring. I like to start at the top of my head and move my awareness down through my body just so I'm kind of scanning piece by piece. Sometimes without a scan, we just pay attention to the things that are loudest or most obvious. And so if we scan, we're just kind of, I guess, methodically moving through the body, ensuring that no part is missed. And that it's not just the kind of the squeaky wheel that gets the oil, but it's the entire body. Once you've checked in with the body, notice your emotional being this morning and notice how you feel. Just checking in with your energetic level. Having checked in with our own selves, both physical, emotional, we then might notice cognition, that thinking part of us. Recognizing that the physical, the feeling, and the thinking, they're all just sensations or experiences that in this moment you're experiencing. And finally, you're experiencing breath. Allowing yourself to connect with breath. And to notice the way your breath influences physical body, emotional body, how breath influences cognition. If for just a breath you're focusing on it, your brain stops thinking. If you're focused on the breath, even for just a breath, it's as though the body stops experiencing sensation. Of course, it doesn't really, but your awareness of it, just for a breath, that awareness is different. With the next inhale, we'll bring our palms together, tuck the thumbs at the heart. If you'd like, bow the chin towards the chest. If there's something in your heart this morning, an intention comes forth, honor that intention. We'll draw our thumbs to the forehead, that space right between our eyebrows. And bring the thumbs back to the heart. Taking a big breath in. Use your exhale to drop your hands to your knees. And let's start by tucking our chin to the chest. And then tuck the tailbone a little between the legs and let that back body arch, like you're reaching your spine way back behind you. And feel that back body. As humans, we're largely forward experiences or experiencers. But feel that. Keeping your attention on your back body, use an inhale to lengthen the spine, roll the shoulders back and down, open the throat, the collarbone, and let your tailbone even, it's like it rocks back and up. Your awareness still on your back body, just breathing. Take another breath in. Use your exhale, tuck your tailbone, tuck your chin, arch that back. Inhaling, tailbone lifts, throat and collarbone opens for cat. Exhale back to cat. Inhaling forward to cow. And you're going to go back and forth connected with your breath. Your physical sensation, what you're paying attention to, is the back body. Do 2 more breaths. It'll be an inhale that brings you back just to a neutral spine, just seated. Your eyes can totally stay closed if you're comfortable with that. Helps keep our attention inward as long as we can. We'll just bring our arms straight out in front of us and let's wrap the right one over top of the left and try to grab your shoulders, maybe even your shoulder blades. Then tuck your chin. Again, you could tuck the tailbone and let that back body bend like you're curling down into yourself. Your core is engaged, of course, protecting that lower back. And feel the shoulder blades on your back body. Feel them slide away from each other like they're dropping down towards the floor. Keeping your chin tucked, use an inhale, bring the rest of your spine to neutral. And then you're just going to use an inhale to let the elbows lift up a bit. The head might need to lift, make room for the arms. Then exhale, elbows come down and chin tucks down. Inhaling, elbows lift and chin lifts. Exhaling, elbows lower and chin lowers. Inhaling to lift. Exhaling to lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Do one more breath. At the bottom of that exhale, we've got our arms just as they were. Your head can come to neutral. The arm that's on top, I think it's your right one, is going to straighten. And this left hand just grabs that upper arm and squeezes it into you. Your right shoulder, then, it's probably hiked way up. You just want to drop it down a bit. Just hugging it in. We want that stretch across the back of that right shoulder. Good, we're sliding this left hand to the elbow, bringing the arms up over the head, and your right hand is going to reach down just somewhere between the shoulder blades. Once your arms are up, imagine that you can roll those shoulders back and down, almost like they could relax away from your ears. Good, you're up, belly engaged. Very, very mindful. You're going to take your shoulders or your torso a little to the left. Bring them back to the middle and a little to the right. Inhaling back to middle. Do one more time. Exhale towards the left. Inhale middle. Exhale towards the right. Inhale middle. Stay here. Take a breath. Following exhale, we'll unwind and drop your arms down. Roll those shoulders up towards the ears, roll them back, roll them down a couple times. Let the head, the neck move if it wants. When you're ready, arms are back up. This time, left one is over top of right. You're finding the shoulders, maybe even the shoulder blades. Then letting those elbows sink down, your chin sink down. And we started by tucking the tailbone and letting the back arch. Almost as though there could be some space between each vertebra. The spine just lengthening as you fold forward. Next inhale, your chin stays tucked, but your spine comes back to neutral. With an inhale, the elbows lift. Your head is going to have to probably lift to let the elbows move. Exhaling, elbows come down, chin tucks down. Inhaling, elbows up. Exhaling, elbows down. A few more times, just using your breath to initiate your movement. That's how we get this mind of ours connected to our yoga practice. Good, one more time. When we land, we're going to land elbows down, chin down, then bring the head to neutral. Keep your arms where they're at. Your top arm, which I think is your left, will straighten. Right hand to that upper arm, and you're just hugging it in. If you can drop that left shoulder, drop it down. A nice big breath. Let that shoulder stretch. Lovely. Our hand then slides to the elbow. We're bending the elbow, bringing both arms up overhead so that that left hand reaches down between our shoulder blades somewhere. And of course, you could use this top hand, apply just a little bit of pressure. Pull the belly in. If your ribs are sticking out, tuck them in. If and when you wish, it's as though the shoulders or the torso sink a little towards the right. Your inhale will bring them to the middle. Your exhale will sink them towards the left. Inhale, middle. Exhale, right again. Inhale, middle. And exhale, left. Inhale, middle. Extra breath. With your exhale, you'll unwind, bring those arms down, roll the shoulders back and down a couple times, check in with the neck. Lovely. Moving then to all fours, we'll either roll over the knees, kick the feet to the side, however you get to all fours. We want to meet there. Once you're there, you're just going to ensure that your knees are right under the hips, the hands right under the shoulders, or forward a little if your wrists are tender. And then let's tuck our toes underneath and really like push down through the feet, like you're bending those little toes right into your mat. Then untuck the toes, press the feet down, the tops of the feet down into the mat. Almost like you could spread them out, the pinky toe reaching out to the sides, the big toe reaching towards the middle. Then tuck them again, like you're bending them, push down through those feet. And then you can either leave them tucked or untucked, which way is generally more comfortable for you. Shoulders will roll away from the ears. Let's do just a bit more cat-cow. So with an inhale, you just ensure your core is engaged. With your exhale, tuck the tailbone, tuck the chin, arch the back. Inhaling, tailbone lifts, throat collarbone opens for your cow. Exhale, rock it back to cat. Inhaling forward to cow. Couple more times, of course, if you feel like your hips need to move or your head needs to move. This is a place where any sort of organic movement is more than welcome. A couple more breaths with whatever you're doing. With your next inhale, come back neutral spine and step your hands forward. You're coming down into a low down dog. And so arms go far enough forward that you can bring the head down between the upper arms. Your hips stay right over top of your knees. And here you've got this place where your entire back body is lengthening. Feeling like from the back of the head all the way down through the neck, down through the shoulders, all the way down, clear to the tailbone as long as you can be back there. And now your chest is going to reach for the ground. Your chin might come to the ground. Your belly stays engaged, but this turns into puppy pose. And the shoulder blades sort of slide towards each other. Your hips still right over top of your knees. Next inhale, come back to your low down dog. Then walk your hands back in towards your knees, and let's bring them all the way in as we slide back and just sit on top of it's like we're sitting on top of our heels. We can bring the torso up, roll the shoulders back and down, and this is often referred to as hero pose. Quite a stretch sometimes for the thighs. If it's too hard on your knees, I know that your honoring body, maybe you've got a block underneath, or maybe you have to avoid it altogether if those knees are not happy. But nice big breath. Then lift that torso up so you're kneeling, your hips right over top of your knees. Let's again tuck our toes. And I know none of us really like this one, but we're tucking our toes and coming back down like we're gonna sit on our heels and let the weight of our body bend those toes. And anytime it becomes too much, you pull up out of it, give your toes a little bit of a break. But we want those toes, we want them to be bending, moving, separated. Our toes are our balancers. Really vital parts of our functioning. Good, if you haven't already come up, or if you're not yet up, go ahead and come up, untuck your toes, and let's just pat the feet, like let them kind of hit like you're swimming. Tuck them back under. And one more time, you're coming back down. And watch the way the heels or the ankles roll. You want to try to keep your heels so they're pointed straight up. Might also strengthen our ankles a little bit. Good, one more breath. Then you'll inhale, torso up, pat those feet back out. And then hinge at the hips, bring the hands back down so they're underneath your shoulders. We're tucking toes, taking a breath in and using our exhale to get the knees and hips up and back to down dog, where of course we can pedal if you wish. Letting back of the legs now join that length that we had to the back of the spine in our low down dog. Your awareness on the entirety of the back body, from the back of the heels, clear up to the back of the head. Even down the back of your arms, like everything there is long. Your head might wiggle a little side to side or turn, ensure that that neck is relaxed. One more breath. Extra breath in. With our exhale, we'll drop the knees back to the earth. Nice. You might move the knees apart a little bit, but you're sending your butt back towards your heels, your chest down, forehead towards the earth or towards stacked fist, finding child's pose. In child's pose, your belly pulls in, but your awareness is on the back body this morning, feeling back of the head, back of the neck, the shoulder blades part, down through your upper back body, mid, clear down to the lower. Maybe even feel the back of the legs as they're bent, pressing together. And if your arms are wrapped around your legs, you're gonna bring them forward. And inhale will bring us to tabletop. Knees move back under the hips. And we're gonna bring the right foot forward and bring the torso up. And so this is often where we start like low lunges, which we might come back to. But for now, we're gonna play with, it's the strength of our hips in order to support that lower back. What we wanna do is bring the front heel in as far as we can towards that bottom knee. And some of us, our Achilles tendon is not long enough to let the heel stay on the ground. And so the heel can be off the ground, but you want it in as close to that knee as you can. Your shoulders back and down. And it's quite likely that it's going to be really hard to balance here, which just means that the muscles in our hips don't really know how to stabilize when we've got this close stance. And so we're working with that. Connecting with breath. If this is really easy peasy, note that. Note the stability of your hips. Nice job. One more breath. That front foot then is going to move back out. And let's allow our hips and everything to move forward, like your weight, your gravity just brings you forward into a low lunge. Roll the shoulders back, bring the hands to the knee if they're not. And then check out that back heel. If it's rolling out, kind of flopping to the side, bring the back heel so it's pointed to the ceiling. Lovely. We're going to keep our left hand on that right knee, bring the right hand to the hip, roll the shoulders back and down, and then let your shoulders twist a little to the right. Notice it's just shoulders that are twisting. Your lower back in particular is steady. Lovely. Take a breath in. With your exhale, untwist. Hinge at the hips to bring your hands down. We're going to keep that left hand planted. Bring our right hand to our knee. Make sure that back heel is still pointing to the ceiling. And then when you're ready, your shoulders again twist to the right. Awesome. I see some of you have your arm up, which is fine as long as shoulders are stacked. Maybe the gaze turns up even. Breath in. Breath out will bring that top arm down. If it's up, untwist. Bring that front foot back so both knees are under the hips. And then you've got left foot forward. Torso up. And you're just feeling core engaged, shoulders roll back and down. Then our intention is to bring that front heel all the way back to the bottom knee. And balance here. Check out the stability of your hips, all kinds of little muscles in there that keep you stable. Nice. We're sending that front foot forward, allowing gravity to take our body forward into a low lunge. Yep, and that hip flexor, it would be your right hip flexor is open, left hip flexor is hinged. Adding the twist here, we want to bring our right hand to that left knee, left hand to the hip. Just our shoulders twist to the left. I suppose the head could go too, but it's lower back steady. Good, take a breath in. With your exhale, come back to the middle. Breath in, breath out, hinges our hips, brings us down. Right hand stays planted on the earth or your block, left hand to the knee. Your shoulders, again, now twisting to the left. If your shoulders are stacked, of course, that left arm can lift towards the ceiling. Maybe even the gaze goes up. Breath in, breath out, I'll bring top arm down, hand down to the earth, so you can bring front foot back. And we're either returning to child's pose, which is just butt back towards the heels, forehead towards the earth, or if you want more active stance, it's up and back to down dog. Either way, you're realigning that back body and bringing it back towards a neutral position, no twist. Big breaths wherever you're at. If you're high down dog, you might pedal the feet. If you're in child's pose, you might wrap the arms around the legs and soften into it. Good. If we're in down dog, we're going to drop the knees. Everybody's going to meet in all fours. With an inhale, the right foot comes forward again, up and in between our hands, and the torso comes up. Lovely. Roll the shoulders back. Bring your hands back behind you, and maybe you can just weave your fingers together. The shoulders will roll back and down again. And here you're going to imagine that you can lift the heart towards your ceiling. Maybe open the throat, pull the belly in, and allow that lower back. It really is as though you're doing a back bend, and it doesn't have to be giant, just the tiniest bit of heart lift. It allows that lower back, the lumbar vertebra, to slide towards one another. Good. Come upright with your torso and then hinge at the hips like you're coming down, shoulder all the way down by that front knee. Tuck the chin in. And this is often referred to as like a humble warrior. Sometimes we've got the back knee lifted, but it's like you're curling down into yourself towards the earth. Tricky to balance too, by the way. Next inhale, your torso comes up. Roll those shoulders back and down and weave your hands and lift the arms towards the ceiling. Drop the shoulders down when you get them up. We're going to take a breath in and then use the exhale to twist the shoulders to the right. Your arms are going to drop straight down and out. Lovely. Yeah, you could bring that arm to the knee. Some of you've got that knee if you want it. Bringing arms up and your torso back to the center with an inhale. Exhale, palms come together, slide them all the way down through heart, all the way down to the ground. Front knee back, so you're back to all fours. Left leg forward. Inhaling, torso up. Nice job. So you're at that low lunge. Hands finding each other back behind you, or maybe they just find the back of your hips, fingers pointing down. Elbows wiggle. So it's like they point back behind you. Shoulders roll back and down. Heart lifts, throat might open. Your belly's engaged though, because you know core engaged always. Protect that spine. Good. Take a breath in. With your exhale, you're going to come up, hinge at the hips. Roll all the way down, tuck the chin down. So it's almost like your spine is at a cat, but you're in a humble warrior. Good. Next inhale, torso comes up. You'll undo your hands. Use an inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, drop the shoulders down. Inhale again with your exhale, shoulders twist towards the left. Arms float out like your warrior two. Nice big breath. Next inhale, arms come up as you bring that torso back to the middle. Exhale, hands together, bring them right down through the midline of your body, all the way down to the earth. Your front foot comes back. You're choosing either child's pose or down dog. Letting that spine realign back to its neutral position, which includes, if you're in down dog, your lumbar curve. If you're in child's pose, you might even choose to wrap the arms around the legs, let the shoulders soften. Good. If you're in down dog, take a breath in. Use your exhale, drop the knees. The rest of us will bring arms forward. Inhale to get to tabletop so we all meet right at that tabletop. Good, we need to bring right foot forward again, up and in between those hands. Tuck the toes. This time lift the back knee up. Turn the back foot and plant it. And let's bring that right elbow to the right knee, left hand to our hip, and then twist those shoulders to the left. So you're stacking your shoulders and you've got this side angle. Some of us are gonna stay right here. Others, I know, like to bring the arm up and then drop it alongside the ear, twist the palm so the thumb is to the ceiling, and let that lengthen the entire left side of your body. Your head is just in a neutral position. Good. Inhale, top arm up to the ceiling, hand back to the hip. Turn your torso so you're hovering over your front leg. And let's bring both hands to the hips and make ourselves hover here for a sec. Belly in, front leg, back leg, each have equal weight. Good, then bring your torso all the way up. So you're essentially in like a warrior one. Yeah, if you need to adjust that back foot, adjust it, trying to square those hips with the front of your mat. We're gonna roll to those back toes and then bring that back foot forward so it's under our hip. Nice job. Feet right underneath our hips. Let's bring our hands to heart. Then bend our knees like we're gonna sit down into our imaginary chair. Roll the shoulders back and down. See if you can lift the heart up as you bend the knees and let your butt sink. Nice big breaths. So tricky part, we're gonna move through balancing back to where we were with that left foot, back and on our toes. So when you're ready, all the weight shifts to that right foot. You mindfully pick up the left, step it back, land on the toes. Nice job. Then turn the back foot, plant it so you can bring the hands down, toes of the back foot, back knee down, and front foot back. Your call, whether you're child's pose or down dog. Length to the back body, whether it's through this active down dog or through passive child's pose. Nice big breaths. If we're in down dog, next exhale, we'll drop our knees. If we're in child's pose, arms slide forward, inhaling to tabletop. We want left foot forward, up and in between those hands. We started by tucking back toe, getting back knee up, turning back foot, planting it, bringing left hand to left knee or left elbow to left knee, right hand to the hip so we can twist and open. It's like we're opening our heart to the right. Awesome. Some of you I know like to bring that arm alongside the ear, the thumb pointing towards the ceiling. And you've got that length now to the entire right side of your torso. Maybe through your arm, actually down your leg. Check out your neck, make sure it's nice and neutral. Good, if top arm is up, you're gonna bring it to the ceiling, drop it down to the hip. Untwist your torso so you're hovering over that front knee. Both hands to the hips, you're now completely hovering. Inhaling torso upright, like you're coming to a warrior one. Adjust that back foot as you need to. When you're ready, roll to those back toes. Inhaling back foot forward, planting it under the hip. Nice work. All right, so feet are under our hips, hands move back to heart. Take a breath in. With your exhale, sit down to your chair. Shoulders back and down, lift your heart way up. Belly in. Awareness of where your balance is at. Knowing where you're headed. It's all the way into that left foot. So you can pick up right leg, send it back, land on your toes. Nice, turn the back foot, plant it. Hands down, you roll back to your back toes, drop the knee, and front foot back. Your choice, child's pose or down dog. Nice big breaths. Good, if you're in down dog, take one more breath in. Use your exhale to drop your knees. The rest of us will bring arms forward. Inhale to get to tabletop. And we meet at tabletop. Toes tucking. You're walking your hands back towards your knees so you can lift that torso up. And so we're back, hips over knees, shoulders over hips. Roll those shoulders back and down. Bring your hands to the back of your hips, your fingers pointing down. And try to bring those elbows so they point straight back. As you do that, your belly pulls in and your heart likely lifts towards the ceiling. And this is your camel. If you have an uber bendy back, you may be able to reach for the ankles, let the shoulder blades slide together, but on our body always. Nice job. One more breath. Your inhale brings your torso back up. Untuck your toes. Bring your butt towards your heels. Come all the way back down. Forehead towards the earth. Arms can just slide down, rest on the earth. We're gonna move towards the rabbit. And so if your forehead is on the ground here in child's pose, that's a perfect place to keep it. Your hands will come up to your head, just weaving the fingers together around, it's like around the top of your head. As you bring your hips up, you'll roll to the crown of your head and your elbows will come to the ground. And here, your spine is going to be looking for a cat position. So it's as though the arch goes towards the ceiling. If possible, to keep that arch, keep your hips right over your knees. You might bring your knees forward. Your hips still stay, though, right over top of them, and you just keep arching. So it's like the opposite of what we were doing in camel. Good, one more breath. Then we roll it back down to child's pose. Do what you wish with your arms. Nice big breaths. Good, if arms aren't out in front, bring them forward. Inhale, get to tabletop. Crawl forward on our mat so we can roll over our knees or kick them to the side. We're going to land on our butts. And once we're on our butts, let's come back to the feet just for a sec. You can grab right foot or left foot, doesn't matter, but you'll pull it in. Other leg can be straight, it can be bent. And we want to spend just a couple minutes massaging feet. So separating toes, really working with the balls of our feet and our toes. Using those thumbs to really move towards the arches. Remember that your feet are very often the first part of your body that you lose sensation of, like the brain getting the signals back and forth all the way to the feet. Often it declines. All the way towards the heels. I like to squeeze mine even with both hands. Roll the ankles in this process. Roll them one way, roll them the other way. Give them a good squeeze. And before you move right to the next foot, let there be just a pause where you notice the difference in sensation between that foot and other foot. Once noticed, you'll bring the other foot in. And do the exact same thing, separate the toes. Massage the ball of the foot. Really, really getting into those arches if they tend to be kind of tender. Grateful for these feet that carry us everywhere we need to be. If you have a Fitbit or whatever, you know how many steps you take in a day. Grateful for those feet that carry you. Roll the ankles that support you. One last squeeze. And then that leg too can stretch on out. And let's just meet at staff pose just for a sec. So that's our legs straight, our torso's up, our belly engaged. We're just gonna point the toes forward, like we're stretching, I don't know, the front of our ankles. And then pull those toes as far as you can back towards the shin. And then point them again, pull them back. Any variation of that. Then your knees will bend, your hands can come behind you just to support you as you make your way to the earth. Once on the earth, we're bringing our attention back to that back body, which is where we've had it for the majority of the practice. And it's the whole back body, so back of your head, back of your neck, your shoulders, back of your arms, all the way down through the torso or the literal back body. Your knees are bent, but still notice the back of those legs. With an inhale, you're going to pull that right knee in towards your torso, hands to the knee. Pulling that knee into you a bit as you notice the back of that thigh. Even though your arms have your legs, see if you can relax your shoulders. Good, with your hands on that knee, your knee might go a little side to side or take little circles, figure 8, like that thigh bone is moving around in the hip socket. And take a breath in. With your exhale, right foot will come to the earth. Take a breath here. Then use your inhale, pull your left knee in, hands to that knee, hugging it towards you as you observe the back of that leg. Maybe the back of your hip, your literal back. Even though your arms and hands have the legs, see if you can relax your shoulders. Then maybe that knee moves side to side or finds some circles or figure 8. Breath in, breath out will bring both feet so they're both on the mat, your knees bent. And inhale will bring both knees in, both hands to both knees, hugging both towards you. And maybe rocking a bit side to side. I know some of us like to circle the knees instead of rocking. And if we circle knees, we make sure we circle in both directions. And then here, we can either stay just right as we are. Just let the lower back kind of push into the ground, be supported. But you might also decide to check in with the spine and ask it, do you want one more twist? If spine says yes, your arms drop out like a giant T, and you let those knees drop towards the right. Your feet come down. Your knees don't have to come down. Never a need for the knees to meet the earth. Your left shoulder, you'll notice, is reaching back for the ground. Maybe your head turns to the left. Opposite direction of the head than the knees. If your head is turned, bring your head back to the middle. You're going to bring your knees to the middle. Your feet stay on the floor. Your top knee is your leader, followed by your bottom knee. Then both of those knees will pull back into your torso, hands to your knees. Give them that hug in, maybe a rock side to side again. Arms out like a giant T so those knees can drop to the left. Your feet meet the earth, the knees don't have to. Maybe gaze turns to the right. If you turn the gaze, bring the gaze back to the ceiling, keep your feet on the floor, but let top knee come to the middle, followed by bottom knee. And one last time, knees in towards the torso, hands to them. Maybe you rock, maybe you circle, maybe you reach for your feet, you find your happy baby. Whatever last release you know your body appreciates before you stretch out for Shavasana or corpse pose. And definitely not a hurry to get there. When you're there, those legs are long, unless the back is really not going to tolerate straight legs, then you keep them bent. Either way, though, we let those legs roll out and open, and that helps our hips understand that it's okay for them to release. The shoulders, relax. You might need to tuck the shoulder blades, just push down through the elbows, tuck each side so you've got a little cushion. And sometimes we rest our arms on our chest or our ribs. Sometimes we drop them to the earth. It doesn't matter. Closing eyes if you feel kind of safe to do so in your space. And checking back in with your physical body. And invite you to do the body scan that you may have began with. Just start at the head and go piece by piece through the body. Interestingly, it seems that the moment we bring awareness to a certain part of the body, that awareness softens it. Just the awareness relaxes it. And it ends up being that piece by piece, your awareness relaxes your entire body. You'll also check in with your emotional body. Some of us are really good at identifying how we feel and even specifying what emotion or emotions we're experiencing. And while that's lovely, it's certainly not necessary. It might just be an awareness of okay or not okay. Your awareness of your emotion acts as a bit of validation. And that validation somehow allows your emotional body to experience just a bit of relief. Almost like it's seen or heard. And you'll check in with your thinking mind, your cognition. aware of the types of thoughts that brain thinks. Aware of the stories it tells, maybe the scenarios or situations that it thinks about and replays. And then finally, awareness turns to the breath. All of these things that your being is experiencing in this moment. You might really begin to notice as you focus on the breath. For the span of that breath, it's as though the physical sensation or the emotional sensation or the cognition, it's almost like it disappears for the part of that breath that you focus on. And just for that second, or half a second, millisecond, just for that moment, it's as though all you are is breath. Do just a couple more breaths that focus only on breath. And then opening that focus back up so that it can include the rest of your being, physical, emotional, cognitive, taking all of you in. When you're ready, you'll actually move the fingers and move the toes, move the head, roll the ankles, the knees, bend. Eventually, we need to shift our hips just so that our knees can fall to the side. As they fall to the side, we roll on over. When we're ready, the hands and the arms, they push us up. Our eyes stay closed if possible. We just want to work our way towards a comfortable seat. And once at a comfortable seat, If eyes are open, they'll reclose. In closing, you might just play with a way that you can move your awareness from body to mind to emotions or to energy, and then just to breath. So different ways that you experience sensation, different ways that you experience being alive. When you're ready, you'll bring the palms together, tuck the thumbs at the heart. Let's close this morning by chanting an Om. If you're comfortable in joining, you'll exhale, let the breath go. Inhaling to fill back up. Namaste.